Hi everyone and welcome to the Q&A this week. If you're watching this, you'll see that I'm not actually in Lycra. I'm in my office wear. So if you didn't know, I actually work in the family business as well, which is metal finishing. And I work there part-time, Will works there full-time as, guess what? As a tech will, as a technical manager, programming robots, etc. So this is why you'll see me in different attire, but I thought it'd be quite fun to get into my office stuff already. So just very briefly, I kind of wanted to update you with what's been going on, and then we'll go straight into the Q&A. And I'm going to do it as I have been for the past couple of weeks, which is a part A. This week, that is going to be based on food and nutrition, and the part B is going to be exercise related, just so you know where we're going with it. So as a little update, it's been a really exciting week. It's been another big week. So yesterday, a little win from me and Will, we set up a new business, a new corporation on their own bespoke laundry fitness platform, which is just incredible. And to think that, starting the squad for me, just as a bit of background, was like this beautiful accident that I never really anticipated and I never thought would happen. And I was a freelance instructor before, working in various different gyms. I kind of always wanted to do more of my own thing anyway, and I was starting to branch out just as lockdown hit. And then for me, it was more about I need to do something and I don't know what that is. And I'm just going to go for this and just see what happens. I'm going to go with my gut. It felt right, and it felt right to support everybody. And anyway, fast forward to now and where we're at. We've got the most incredible online fitness family. And then we're also, we're working with corporations, lots of different sizes, and we've got lots of different corporations who have their own platform. And the great thing about doing it with us, I believe anyway, is that it's not a cookie cutter program. It's a all right, tell me what do your staff actually need? What do they want? What will support you? What do you need to deliver? And then we can create it. With me and Tech Will, we're quite a good team. So he's like the brains behind it all, like how to put it into place. So I'll come up with the ideas, right? I want this, and this, and he's like, yep, make it happen. So it's just great. So that's been a huge win. And also we've set off on the step challenge. If you're doing the step challenge, it's been such a fun week. So the first week's about getting all the steps under our belts, and the second week, this is where we're starting to throw some curveballs in. So I know Will's got a trip to the casino planned for everybody to potentially gamble their steps. And we also released a riddle where you have to work out which classes are going to be giving an extra 10,000 steps per class per person. So it's been very fun and very exciting, and also a really great week in the squad. It's been really great to see some of you coming to the lives and you're keeping that normal routine throughout the school holidays. For some of you, it's been great to see you being flexible, either maybe taking a bit of a backseat compared to what you normally do to allow your body to rest more, or just making it work around you. Be more flexible, following this week's classes, but in your own time, which is absolutely brilliant. And that's why we lay it out that way as well, so you can follow this week's classes in your own time. Literally go to this week's classes page and just do them whenever you want. So you don't miss out ever. When you do them as well, the way that we record it, it's like you're doing it live. Don't you think? Anyway, that's enough from me. One final notice is we are starting the 14-day menopause challenge this Monday. This is open to everybody, squaddies and non-squaddies. So if you're struggling with your menopausal symptoms, or you just want to arm yourself with more knowledge, so maybe you're not quite there yet, but you want to know what you need to do when you get there, please come and join. Knowledge is power. I'm going to give you loads of knowledge, loads of different workouts to do each day. I'll give you a bite-sized workout to do. Plus you've got the accountability and the support from me. So I'll be coaching every single day, all in a WhatsApp group, no fluff, no faff, dead easy to access, super simple. So if you want to do that, message me, Menno. You can text me, email me, message me, whatever, Menno, and I'll send you the details to get signed up. So open to everyone. So squaddies, if you know any friends who are struggling with their symptoms right now, just tell them about it. Just tell them about it. It could be the best thing they do. Right, time to get on with the Q&A. So there are all my notices for now. Stay tuned for the May focus as well, gang. I'm working on that as well. And here we go. Part A is all about food, cravings, and fueling your body. So I am going to actually use the questions that were asked to guide this. So question number 1 is about craving something sweet in the morning. The first thing in the morning, I always have a massive sweet craving. I usually have a handful of raisins or a sweet cuppa. Is there something I can eat or do the night before to alleviate this craving? Okay, so firstly, we want to know, why is this craving actually happening? Sweet cravings in the morning can be due to several factors. So it can be due to our blood sugar. It can be due to disrupted sleep, hormonal fluctuations, particularly things like your stress hormone and ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, and even your your dietary habits the day before. So when we wake up with really strong sugar cravings, it's often because your body is trying to quickly raise your blood sugar glucose to your blood glucose, sorry, just to compensate for the dip that's happened overnight. So if we look at let's start with what you ate the night before. If your last meal or snack was really high in refined carbohydrates and maybe low in protein and fat, it's likely that your blood sugar spiked and then dropped again overnight while you slept. So then you're waking up in this low blood sugar state. And that can kind of trigger a hormonal cascade that increases your cravings for sugar after you've woken up. Now, this is classical. So many people do this. So many people will watch TV at night and have like a sugary snack or dive into sweets or chocolate or popcorn or whatever. At the end of the day, sometimes we've been making that many decisions. We've got decision fatigue and we don't make the best choices. And then what happens is blood sugar spikes, blood sugar crashes, we wake up craving something really sweet. So think about what you're eating the night before. Number one, your evening meal, is it really balanced? Protein, carbohydrates, and fat, is it balanced? Also, if you're going to have a snack before you go to bed, try and focus on one that is a little bit higher in protein and healthy fats. So for example, that might be, I don't know, if you like boiled egg, for example, boiled eggs and nuts, or if you want some full fat Greek yogurt with a sprinkling of nuts and seeds or granola or whatever, you're thinking along these lines, or maybe even something like a protein porridge, like a small bowl of protein porridge, or maybe some chopped banana in it, or whatever. Those kind of things, and that will really work to support your blood sugar stability. And also, a lot of those things contain tryptophan and magnesium, which can help your sleep quality, which is another key factor in cravings. So if you struggle with poor sleep, that can massively affect your hormone ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. And again, that can make cravings worse the next morning. Or if you've been dealing with a lot of stress recently and you've got this low-lying high level of cortisol just constantly, then cortisol can also increase your cravings for sweet, palatable food to get energy in fast. Your body is in almost a fight flight mode as soon as it wakes up. So there's a few things to think about, but also you probably want to think about, are you hydrated enough? Make sure you're having enough water. Make sure that you're supporting your gut microbiome as well. Are you eating any things like prebiotics, like fermented foods, fiber? And you really want to be thinking about eating a good balance overall, like general overall in the day, but just really concentrate on what you're having the night before. And another reason why you might be doing it, and this is more like human behavior, but has it become a bit of a habit? Is that just what you go to straight away in the morning and you have done for ages, and now it's just become like a bit of a routine? So think about what you're having the night before, but then also think about that morning. Okay, well, if we want something sweet, what about something sweet that's going to really serve our body, like a banana, slow releasing carbohydrates, or get something that's a bit high in protein when you wake up. And then that should really help stabilize your blood sugar and also give you like a little bit of a boost before a morning class as well. I hope that gives you a bit of food for thought, quite literally. Meal ideas when training for a long run is the next question. So this is about fueling for endurance runs like 20 miles. So really what we want to be thinking about is our glycogen stores, which is our stored glucose, so our carbohydrates. We really want to be making sure that we are stored up. We have reserves to pull on, because once they're depleted, your performance can significantly drop. And we need to be making sure that we're also focusing on our fuel during the run and after the run. So the day before, we want to be thinking about low fiber, lower fat, moderate protein, and just high carbs. Get the carbohydrates in, top up your glycogen stores. The reason I say we want to be focusing on lower fiber and lower fat is because it's just for digestion purposes. So you don't want to be having a massively high fiber meal, because you will find that you will need to go for a number two for the toilet the next day. And same with fat. Sometimes it can, if you have a really, really high fat meal, for example, it can make our digestion a little bit more sluggish. So just really be focusing on getting enough protein in, yes. So moderate protein, but mainly focusing on getting the carbohydrates in. So rice, lean meats, vegetables, pasta with, I don't know, beef or turkey mince, whatever you want, with tomato-based sauce, bagels, bananas, fruit smoothies, porridge, all that kind of thing. One thing you don't want to do Don't try anything new, like the day before or a couple of days before. Avoid anything that is too spicy as well. Anything that could potentially affect your digestion, don't try it. This is the time for focusing on the things that you know your body likes and prefers, and focusing on things that are easily digestible that are going to support you. Now, the morning of the run, we want to be making sure that we've got some carbohydrates in us, a bit of protein maybe as well, but mainly just think about carbohydrates. So here, bowl of porridge, banana, maybe a maple syrup or honey or something, some toast if you prefer, and a small protein shake, and maybe some muesli or granola. Just careful with the high fiber on that one, just be careful. And so they're the kind of things that you want to be focusing on the morning of. And then it's a long run, this is endurance. 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates per hour. You want to be taking things like your gels with you, but please practice with gels. Don't just not practice and then take gels. Again, really, really could be a bit iffy for digestion. Things like jam sandwiches, things like energy bars. When I did the marathon, I had two gels with me, and I had a protein flapjack. And I think I didn't have anything else on the actual run. It was a big protein flapjack, and I kept taking bites at a time. And I had my two gels. May have had like a small bar in there somewhere, I don't know. It's really important to make sure you take stuff on the run with you, and you are drinking, you are sipping all the time. And post run, you want to be prioritizing a 3-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein, just to support your muscle repair and also your glycogen resynthesis. So just getting it back in your body, topping the stores up. So think about, okay, I want something high carbs with a bit of protein as well. So ideally like 30-ish grams of protein, and then just getting something that is high carbs. And it can be really tempting to think, woo, yeah, celebration drinks. But just remember that your body is probably really quite dehydrated right now, and alcohol will affect your recovery the next day. So just be thinking about being moderate and just giving your body what it actually needs, even if you don't quite feel like eating. Sometimes when you've done something so big and high endurance, you don't really feel like eating right away. Just stomach what you can. And that might be just getting some electrolytes down you. It might be like a little yogurt pouch, whatever. Just get something down you soon. Okay, now the next question is, when you're trying to lose weight, is it okay to play with calories across the week? So, for example, can I eat less during the week if I know that I'm going to be having more at the weekend? Now, yes, you can, with caution. So this is called calorie banking, or you can call it calorie cycling. And that is adjusting your calorie intake during the week for things at the weekend, like social events, for example. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're eating to support our deficit over the week, and we're not going too low during the week and then going absolutely wild at the weekend, because you'll just end up undoing everything. So if your maintenance is something like 2,000 calories a day, for example, then you could do something like, so if you want to create a deficit, Monday to Friday you might eat 1,700 calories, so you're basically quote unquote banking 300 a day. And then when you get towards the weekend, you could put it up to 2,000, for example, or 2,100. So say if you banked 300 calories per day for 5 days, that's 1,500 calories. So therefore, over the 2 days, you've got 750, but that would be if 750 a day, that would be if you're going to say maintenance. So you need to like actually think, okay, so it needs to be below that, right? So you might just go bring it up to maintenance calories at the weekend, for example. And you want to make sure you're staying in a deficit over the week. So you can kind of manipulate them a little bit, but you just need to be sure that you're not dropping too low on weekdays, because it can impact your hormonal health, it can increase your cortisol, it can affect your recovery. And quite often what it does is that over restriction during the week means we go, whoa, at the weekend and just go absolutely bonkers, have whatever we want, undo everything we've done, and then we're back to square one. So it's just about being moderate. Make sure during the week that you are maintaining a good protein intake, so about 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight, and just monitor how you feel as well. Like what is your energy like? Like for you, that might not be a deficit. For you, that might be, you maybe need to eat 1,500 and then you pull it up to 1,750, 1,800 at the weekend. So you need to kind of work out roughly where you are. And this is if you want to do calorie counting. Another way you can do it is, be consistent through the week. And when you get to the weekend, have the one thing. And that might be, if you go out for dinner, it's either the wine or the chips. It's not both. And it's either the chips or the pudding. It's not both. So have the one thing on Saturday, have the one thing on Sunday. So you don't feel like you've deprived yourself of stuff that you want, but also you know that you're making choices that are aligned with your goals. So there's a couple of ways of doing it, but yes, it can work for some people. For other people, it can completely throw them off. Okay, we're moving on to part B of the podcast now, and we're going to be talking about movement, cardio, and exercise choices. So the first question here is about workout frequency. Do you recommend working out 5 days a week or 3 days a week? Now, it absolutely depends. Like, this should be completely and utterly tailored to your preferences, your time, how quickly your body recovers. More isn't always better. But for some people, working out 5 days a week it helps them keep consistent as opposed to 3 days a week. So you've got to find what works better for you. So if, for example, you find it really easy to commit to 3 days a week, you're changing your sessions up. So you've got a bit of cardio, you've got some strength, you've got some holistic, feel like you're getting a great balance. You're hitting the recommended minutes of exercise, which, if you didn't know, is 150 minutes of moderate exercise. That can even include things like a brisk walk or vigorous cleaning or vigorous gardening, but basically getting your heart rate up, or like Pilates, for example, or 75 minutes of vigorous. And these are things like your HIIT workouts, your running, your cycling, your combat, your aerobics. That would be more on the vigorous side. So you can do either or you can get a bit of a mixture of both of them, but they're the recommended amount of minutes. So it might be best looking at what you're doing right now. Are you hitting the recommended amount of minutes? And how do you prefer to work out? And what's your recovery like? So if you did every day, so you say you did Monday to Friday, maybe you come to the live classes, are you recovering well from that? Are you enjoying it? Because you show up at the same time every day, does that help you with your consistency? Because some people who do 3 days a week, like me personally, I prefer to do consistent days and then I have my rest day at the weekend. But that's just me because I like to do it at the same time every day. Because if I like do a bit and bob, a bit here, a bit there, I don't know where I am and it all kind of feels a little bit disjointed. Whereas when I work out at the same time every day, it's already part of my routine and I don't really think about it as much. So you need to kind of think about what works for you. Everyone's got different time constraints. Everyone has different goals. So, for example, if you're an intermediate advanced exerciser with specific goals, you want to improve your strength, you're working up towards an event, maybe 3 days a week might not be quite enough. Maybe you want to do a bit more. But what is important is making sure you're recovering properly, making sure that you are doing enough to be active, and also making sure that you've got a program that feels manageable and supports your lifestyle. And that would be my best advice. Like, how do you feel? Are you sleeping well? Are you managing to eat, good nutrition to support your recovery? Are you enjoying it? So that would be my best advice, and a little bit of what I personally do as well. Okay, walking as cardio. Is walking at a fairly fast pace every day for at least 20 minutes a good cardio workout rather than doing cardio classes, especially if you've got a knee injury? Yes, brisk walking is a fantastic form of cardio training, especially if you are, you're going for it, you're getting your heart rate up. It's brilliant. And depending on how much you're going for it as well, it could be a little bit like interval training, if you're really, really fast, relax, really fast, relax. Yes, and if you're finding that actually doing walking, low impact movement, it is helping you and it's not putting too much pressure on your knee, then great, brilliant. What I would say is really normally walking would be classed as your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, anything that you do out of a typical workout. So for example, taking the dog on a walk, I'm not going to include that as my cardio. Or just walking to the shops, I'm not going to include that as my cardio unless I'm absolutely like pelting, going for it, I'm swinging my arms, I'm engaging my core. Maybe I've got some weights in my backpack, because we really want to be thinking about getting the heart rate up as well. So yes, walking is great. It does elevate your heart rate, but it depends on how you're doing it as well. So I would say that make sure that you are at least a couple of times a week, really getting your heart rate up. And that might be, if you're struggling with your knee, it might even be on a bike. So, doing like a spin bike kind of thing. But walking is a fantastic, fantastic workout. Absolutely. Now I'm just going to see if I've got any other questions or anything that I've left out. I think I've answered them all. So I hope you've enjoyed, the episode's been like this, been in a part A and a part B. So I've gone for nutrition and I've gone for workouts in the second part, but also wanted to keep those particular questions because they were all quite different from each other as well. Anyway, I hope it's been really informative. And if anyone wants to join the 14-day menopause challenge starting on Monday, just send me a message. I can send you the details. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. And I will see you in class.